Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more 9-rip finishing Minami. Thank God. Again, it wasn't a bad round overall. I just don't love Minami, so it wasn't as enjoyable for me as it should have been, or as it could have been if I liked Minami. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But anyway, we're going to get our godly end right now, and then we'll get our bad ends. There's only 2 bad ends, so hopefully shorter part today, because I just need to be a little short. You know what I mean? Because we went over last time. Well, we didn't go over last time, but we went over totally in his route with an extra freaking part that I wasn't expecting it to have. But I think that's probably because I bitch and moan too much about how much I don't like Minami that much. Even though objectively, I know I've said it 100 times, the route itself is not bad. I just can't connect the fact that the character and the route are perfectly fine. I don't like the sprite, so I don't like the route. It makes sense, but it also doesn't, you know? Anyway, it means we can face it together, because even if we're facing something that seems impossible, we can do it if we stick together. Isn't that powerful? Before we might have been at odds, but now there's trust. We're united in this. Minami seemed puzzled, tilting his head. Well, I guess 2 heads are better than 1. Okay. And I know we can probably... I think this one has a skip to next choice, but we'll just skip through because, again, it's been a while since I played this section. Oh, right. We were so hungry, we ate our mom. Right. Remember that. Okay. Because, when I recorded the other parts, well, not the ending part or whatever, but I'm recording the last 3 parts, this one and the 2 prior, all in the same day, because I was like, we only have 2 more hours left, and then the fact that now I technically have 3 parts to record, this one shouldn't take a full hour or whatever. It's because he heard me out. Saya listened to me, that's why I said I was on his side. I wish you'd do the same, Minami. Fine. Why don't you tell me about what the 2 of you talked about? Oh, thank you. Well, one thing, the next time you take that guy's side, I'll kill both you and him. His intensity is something else. But knowing Minami, it wasn't surprising. I really did fall for it. I really did fall for someone intense. But anyway, so those ones were days ago. So it was 4 days before I wrote. So I need the refresher. Even though we just recorded this one a couple hours ago. So, but that's fine. It's, we're not skipping too much. I took a deep breath, and his sweet scent began to consume me. At the same time, I began feeling sleepy. So, we're not going to get our sexy CG. Good night, Minami. Before I could hear Minami say goodnight back, I slipped into a dream. Just as Minami promised, I dreamt of being surrounded by my family. A day that was nothing but pure joy. My mother accepted my career choice. My sister was thrilled for me. Meanwhile, there's a demon having sex with your body. Disturbing. The 3 of us sat on the sofa, watching TV and laughing together. Such a wonderful day. Again, I think this is more disturbing, not because they're like, oh, you'll be asleep as I'm having sex with you, so you don't have to be there for it. Well, we should want to be there for it, because we love Minami, so, okay. But if you were like, I'm not really into you that much, so I guess it's what I have to do, and, I'd rather be asleep than awake for it. I don't know if anyone would choose that. But, I guess there are situations where you, in this scenario of, me, I don't particularly love Minami, but it's just, I just opt to not, But, if you're like, I like Minami, but I'm not quite there yet, and I'd rather be asleep so then I don't experience, so then it's it never happened, sure. But here's the creepy part. In your dream, you're like, I'm having a wonderful day, hanging out with my family, knowing that a demon's having sex with your body. Don't you think that feels more disgusting? Isn't that more disturbing? It's a little disturbing that you're unconscious while he's doing you. But that's the choice you made. Or didn't clarify and ask, do I have to be asleep? But now you're having a dream, hanging out with your family, watching TV while your body is being... okay, theoretically, you could be unconscious and someone is getting rapey with you. Okay, and you wouldn't know what's happening, so you'd be in a dream hanging out with your family, not realizing. okay? And that's disturbing on one level. But it's disturbing on a whole other level where you're like, I know what's happening and I'm dreaming of my family. Ew. I'd be like, at least could you put me in a dream and like give me dreams of like that we're dreaming that we're doing it or sexy shit? Because like, I think that I would never be able to look my family in the eye again if I went back home and was like, yeah, I had a dream we were sitting here watching TV together and a demon was fucking me, and that's gross. There's just some, is it me? Am I the only one that's like, it's, the first level of wrong is we're unconscious while he's doing us, and that's, okay. And the second is, while you're in this dream what is happening to your body and you're dreaming of your family, and now how can you not equate the two of those together? How do you not later on in your life just have just the weirdest, like, oh God. You know what I mean? How do you not have a weird, creepy association now? Anyway, such a wonderful day. Oh, I don't know. That disturbs me so much more. When I woke up, everything was exactly the same as before I went to sleep. Truly, it was as if nothing had happened. Maybe it didn't. Good morning. Did you sleep well? Tell me about your dream. Well, you were having sex with me. I was hanging out with my family. It was awesome and fucking weird. Good morning. Yeah, I had a really nice dream. Thank you, Minami. Again, not the kind of dream I'd want to have. I've been watching you for some time. I know exactly what makes you happy. I'm glad you had such a nice dream. Right. So, about the ritual. Oh, now we have to have this weird conversation. Okay. It's complete. Officially. I've bestowed upon you the power of dreaming. Still, I didn't feel any different. So, like, maybe did we not have sex? Did we just, like, fondle each other? Did we just get close in our skin-to-skin contact? Like, making out? Like, heavy making out? Because, like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You just kind of, like... Because, again, skin-to-skin contact, he, like, unbuttons your shirt and your chests are combined. Like, if you think about it, before you get, like... You know what I mean? Before you actually get to sex, you're starting to take clothes off, things are happening, body parts are touching. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe it wasn't full on, and we're just inferring that. I don't know, but I'm just saying... Like, if that's the case, like, oh, yeah, no, like, we were just topless, and I was just wrapping my body around you and, like... licking you a lot, because you know he'd lick you. Probably try to lick your eyeballs. Gross. You know what I mean? Then, like, yeah, okay, fine. That's one thing. But, like, the implication is that that's, like, sex. And, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'd prefer they actually told you one way or another so that scene where you're asleep, yeah, I was hanging out with my parents, and I don't feel any different that you had sex with me while I was having a great day with my mom and my sister, and now I'm going to make the weirdest association ever. I just would prefer they told us it was like, no, sex didn't actually happen. It was just like, and they didn't leave it for you to infer, because then it would make me feel a lot less creepy about this. Anyway, form a pact. Minami stopped dead in his tracks. What are you saying? Oh, how wonderful. At that moment, the soul drifted toward me. Oh, this doesn't sound good. Simultaneously, Minami rushed over and positioned himself between me and the soul. You won't be making any pact. This was the end. One false step and everything was over. Minami, this doesn't concern you. I'm the one making a pact with this soul. You really expect me to stand by silently? It's gonna be okay. Just trust me. Damn it. We're making a soul pact, and then I'm going to sell both our souls back to you. With Minami momentarily at bay, I faced the soul directly. No, I like choking it to death better. I was doubtful I could truly intimidate him with my own words alone, but I thought of Seiya and tried to think of how we would handle the situation. So you're infuriated by the prospect of me fusing with her? Fuse? You misunderstand. My intent's to trap you within me. And what makes you think I'll allow you to dominate me? That's just what I do, baby. Gonna be a dominatrix. With that, I burst into an exaggerated laughter. Clearly you don't understand why Minami chose me. Seeing the soul silenced, I glanced over at Manami. Signaling him to share what he knew, Manami let out a gasp. Her soul is just like yours. Beautiful and pure. I couldn't absorb it. No need to spell it out, I'm aware. Didn't I tell you I know everything about you? Indeed you did, but that's about me. What about yourself? What do you mean? You've been so fixated on me, you've failed to see your own state. Your soul has been tarnished. With Manami regaining his composure, I smiled. If you try to merge with me now, my soul will recognize you and destroy you. I can end you without a second thought if I chose to. Okay, actually. See, she's definitely unhinged. Like, now she's in there threatening him. I'm totally okay with it, though. Manami tensed, but I reassured him with a look. I tried to tell him I wouldn't do it. It's not a kindness that I'm giving you a choice. Merge with Manami and become him, form a pact with me and vanish, or leave. You wanted your family's happiness once, right? So wouldn't you like to cross over and be with them? Oh, my family. See, we could have just threatened his family, like I said. Once you're gone, I'll return to my family, too. They're waiting for me. Manami's expression briefly showed sadness, but then he quickly smiled. Although I hated the thought of leaving him, I had a family back home waiting for me. I had a life to live. Yeah, so this one will go back. I had to go back. You're right. I'll leave. My family's waiting for me. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Suppose there was still some good left in me. And it's funny because the heavenly end is usually the better ending. Yeah, and the godly end is the less affectionate ending. So it's odd because usually the heavenly end is like, oh, we go back and then we're going back to live our life and we can't touch our dead ghost boyfriend. And then the godly end is we died and we get to be with them. But it's weird that with Manami it seems to be the reverse. With those words, the soul shone brightly. And as the light faded, so did he. Then, when I woke up, I saw Seiya's face. What a rude way to greet me. Reminds me of when we first met. Your smile was beautiful, though. I know, I'd be like, ah! I'd gasp ridiculously. I'm sorry. You were so close, I couldn't help it. I'd have just grabbed him and kissed him, but that's just me. Where's Manami? Back off, Seiya. You got a death wish. Manami seemed to be back to his usual self, but I merely smiled. Really, both of you, look quite rude to someone who's just trying to help. Sorry, you're right, but you played a huge role in our success, Seiya. You were intimidating, right? It was so cringeworthy I almost gagged. Oh, you were imitating him, sorry. I was intimidating? Imitating Seiya. That hardly sounds like a compliment. It was, but... Suddenly my body shook and I collapsed. My body felt totally weak. Oh no, there's no way I'm letting you get hurt now. Manami propped me up, helping me to stand. Thank you. We've got to get you to the station. If you're truly free of your burden, the train should be there waiting. I'll carry her. Manami quickly scooped me up into his arms. With sad eyes, he looked at me and nodded. This was the end. Seiya, thank you for everything. I won't forget you. Thank you, truly. Didn't I tell you already? Helping you return was something I did for myself. I laughed. Promise me I won't see you here again. Not even after death. I promise. Goodbye, Seiya. Goodbye. May your life be full of happiness. My only happiness is you, so whatever. Manami waited for us to finish talking, then we left the room. I love you, Seiya. I'll never forget you. Can't we just get married again? Just as expected, the train was there at the platform waiting for me. Manami carried me aboard, found a spot, and set me down gently. The train won't leave as long as I'm here, so I'll see myself out. What? Wait! He tried to leave without saying goodbye, and I hurried to stop him. I struggled to find the right words. Thank you, take care. All that came to mind sounded cliché and far too small for the moment. Not knowing what to say, I began to panic. I'll kill you if you ever cheat on me. Huh? Yeah, there's his. Okay. So this one is the unhinged version of the CG that we had in the very beginning. I looked up at Minami, and he gazed back with the intensity of our first meeting. Something about him was different, yet his expression revealed the real Minami. If you're charmed by another, I'll haunt you. If someone dares approach, they'll regret it. Stay true to me, understood, Spacey? His devilish smirk and those menacing words were why I fell for him. I hope this doesn't count as the CG we unlocked, because technically we've already had this one, just a different version of it. I love you, Minami. You'll always be in my thoughts. Finally, I found my voice. And don't you dare forget me, okay? From our first encounter to now. Tears blurred my sight, but I needed to see him, so I didn't care if the tears streamed down my face. Man, you're sure an ugly crier. But if those tears are for me, I love it. Forget you? Impossible. Plus, I plan on visiting, you know. What? Wait for me in your dreams, Spacey. And thank you. Without saying goodbye, he left the train. As soon as Minami exited, the doors closed and the train departed. Not even a kiss. Minami, you promised you'd visit! I'll wait for you in my dreams. I shouted to him on the platform. That's such a romantic line. I'll wait for you in my dreams. It's cheesy as fuck and romantic, and I kind of love it. But Minami never looked back. Soon he disappeared from view. He seemed to be shivering, and I knew he was crying. Aww. Again, I don't but there's so many things about this route that are adorable. But I don't love Minami, so it ruins it a little. The demon who wept for me. When we talk about him and I don't see his sprite looking all 12, I'm like, no. You know what I mean? We're going to get an after scene. Nope, don't start music. Yeah, here we go. Did that scare you? My bird's sitting on my knee, and when the clouds came on, it was like, gee, were you just puffed up and were you puffing up and you've almost fell? You losing your balance, or did that scare you? What's going on? You okay? After my return, Narimigahama was thrown into total chaos. Missing girl found! The news covered it, and the press swarmed our house for interviews. I declined all requests and politely asked for privacy. I'd apparently been gone for 9 days. Surprisingly, as it felt much, much longer. Oh, surprising as it felt, sorry. My mother, sister, and Sayaka all wept and welcomed me back. They bombarded me with questions. Saying I was in hell would only worry them, so I feigned amnesia. Though I suspect Sayaka would have believed me. Once the chaos settled, life slowly returned to normal. After returning home, I talked about my future career path with my mom. As for what I should do, I still didn't know for sure, but I wasn't in any rush to figure things out. As for Minami, I'd go to bed hoping to meet him in my dreams, but he hadn't appeared just yet. Then one day after school... Hey, wanna catch a movie tomorrow? There's this new one where an exorcist has a fight with a demon. I'd rather not see that kind of thing on the big screen. Oh, come on! It'll be epic! I'll think about it. By the way, don't you have cram school today? Oh, shoot! I forgot! I'll see you tomorrow! Sure, see ya, bye! I sighed, changing into my outdoor shoes, and headed out. That movie would be way too much right now. Why hasn't he visited my dreams? Since that soul left, did his demonic nature grow stronger? Did he become a true demon? Did he forget me? Hey! Honoka texted me. There's a super cute guy at the back gate. Seriously? We have to see for ourselves. How hot are we talking? Minami in, human form? Honoka said he's got a kind of emo punk look to him. Said he's weirdly dressed. Nobody notices the horns, because he's going to look like himself. Oh, not really my type then. I'm into guys like Sena. I want a prince. I had the perfect, princess, but I also dated Sena too. Isn't Sena that idol who recently passed away? My thoughts drifted as I heard the girls chat and left the school. It's gonna be fucking Minami. Maybe I'll treat myself to a parfait at the cafe before heading home. Oh, looks like you're doing well. Oh, that voice. I can't wait. And he's not wearing horns. He just looks like a normal boy. Minami? I couldn't believe my eyes. here? I went through a lot to get here. Hey, what's the deal? Your eyes aren't red. Huh? Yeah, I figured you'd be crying for me every day. I cried a lot already. I think I'm all cried out. That quick? You should be crying forever. Well, it seems like a bit much. CG's kind of cute, though. He doesn't have his little horns. He's got normal ears, because otherwise you'd see his little pointy ears sticking out a bit. But never mind that. Why are you here? Maybe you shouldn't ask. Huh? It was tough for me, too. When that soul left, I almost fell apart. But I missed you so much, I worked extra hard as a demon to take this form. Maybe I don't want the details after all. Did he, go get souls and stuff? Because, a demon should have the power to walk around in human... He said he could take human form, but you got rid of the soul that you had, so, he probably had to go eat lots of people. That's what he was doing. She's like, he hasn't visited my dreams yet. It's been a while. And it's like, yeah, because he's working his ass off. So instead of popping in your dreams, he could show up like this. And again, I don't love Minami, but I like the idea of this. You know? It's adorable and sweet. Why you gotta give the sexy scene and all the extra CGs to Minami, though? Why you gotta do it? Why you gotta make me mad? Because, theoretically, the route's good. And, in CGs like this, where he doesn't have the little baby face, I swear to God, his face is totally different in the CG. Not totally different, but different enough. It's like he aged 5 years. You know? So I don't hate it. But, it could have been so much better if I just liked the sprite more. I don't know. Or, again, I think part of it, too, is Seiya's always in his route, always around. And it's like, you cannot dangle my princess in front of me and have me appreciate Minami like I should. You know what I mean? Minami wasn't going to sway me away from Seiya, but Seiya being my favorite. And, I liked Seina and Koyo, so seeing both of them in each other's routes was it's okay, we're a throuple. But they did the right thing with Hibiki. Kureha was there, once or twice, just 2 brief blinks and gone, and he wasn't there to distract me. So I could appreciate Hibiki for Hibiki. I can't appreciate Minami for Minami when you're dangling Seiya in front of me every 2 seconds. He had almost as much screen time in Minami's right as Minami. You can't do that to me. Also, again, babyface. And then I'm just salty because he got the sexy scenes and extra CGs. Salty about it. But I don't think I'd have been as mad, you know? But still, when Seiya's not around, I'm enjoying the route a little bit more. Well, thanks for that. Maybe it's best to just thank him for now. You better be grateful. A lot. I'll visit every day, so get ready to make it up to me. Daily. Daily? You mean you can stay? Yeah, I worked hard for this. We'll be together now forever, even past death. Could you not say things like that? Why? You still love me, right? Well, you haven't cheated, have you? Nobody's caught your eye. You're still mine. Hey, don't you trust me? Of course I trust you. It's just liking you makes me anxious. Is that so wrong? No. Nothing's changed. I've been waiting for you all this time. I knew it. I knew you'd wait. Then why'd you bother asking? I wanted to say that, but I held back. After all, we'd finally been reunited, and I wanted to greet him with this. Minami, I still love you. I love you more than ever. Same here. I love you even more, too. And now I'll always be by your side. Forever. His forever was intimidating because it felt literal, but that was typical Minami. The man I loved. And that one was godly end, below the sun. So, I mean, again, that's actually not a bad ending. And it's kind of, but again, they give him slightly, I mean, we had the one where we died and stayed in hell, but this one, we're back alive and he does whatever to be able to come and be with us and physically touch us. I came all the way to see you, so you better stay by my side. Don't ever leave. Rather, I won't let you go. Your future career plan's gonna be with me, got it? So on that survey, just write, Minami. I'll take care of you forever. Love ya. Unhinged. But I mean, so I want to kind of be mad that Koyo got the best ending, so I'm not mad about that. But you know what I mean? Minami getting this ending where we can actually be together and touch each other, but it makes sense because he's a demon as opposed to everybody else is actually dead. He's a different type of entity. So of course he can, take on a human form somehow. But being demonic and a demon would be able to be human as opposed to a ghost. You know what I mean? So, valid. So this one was bad ending. Oh, I lie. Okay. I really didn't want to lie, especially to him. I know I don't want to lie to him either. I don't want to love anyone else but him. It wasn't about fearing he'd catch me. It was just that lying to him felt wrong. But I have to, or he'll think I've lost it. So I chose to lie. You're such a goody two-shoes. I didn't want you to get in trouble. I kept my voice steady and Saya smiled. Thank you for thinking of me, but you don't need to worry about that. He didn't seem to see through my lie, but a chill went through me, seeing things were going in the wrong direction. Look at how beamingly beautiful he is when he smiles. If Minami's your burden, it's only logical that I get rid of him for you. Yeah, but if I stayed quiet here, he would kill Minami for sure. I needed to steer the conversation in another direction. I don't think having someone else fix my problems is the solution. I need to handle this myself. I looked at him, pleading with my eyes, letting them convey more than my words alone could. Saya thought for a moment, then nodded. I see. You have a point. Oh, phew, I'm so relieved he understands. However, my relief was short-lived. All right, but if Minami comes after you and enters the HO again, all of that changes. Huh? If he comes here, I won't hesitate to act. But, you know Minami will come here. Yeah, I know. Being close to Saya might have put Minami at risk. Perhaps being around Saya isn't a good idea. It's definitely not, because I love him too much. You can't be serious! This is so stupid! You're seriously gonna run away again? Seriously, shut up! The other me had a point, though. The other me is trying to just keep you... The other me is me trying to keep you with Saya. I had to find a place where neither Minami nor Saya could get to me. I must return to work. I'll assign someone to make sure Minami doesn't get in again. Hey, wait! Saya swiftly left the room. He made it sound like I'm confined here. You better get out of here, otherwise Minami's gonna be killed. Yeah, I know, although this voice is like, get out before Minami dies! So, like, what the other voice is a little fucking bonkers. Which, I guess, you know, this is the only time we've ever heard another voice. And we did say at one point, I think, well, this kind of sounds like stuff Minami would say. Because it's always like, no, don't leave. Oh my god, you should stay here. And now it's like, no, Minami's gonna die if you don't leave. So fair, because the voice in our head is as insane as she is in this whole route. So I responded to my other self in my mind and took a look around my surroundings. There's gotta be a way out. That's when I noticed the elevator in the corner of the room. Maybe I could head somewhere else. Seems like our only choice. Yeah, I think you're right. But escaping won't really solve anything. You need to figure things out with Saya. Oh, that was the other voice. I know, which is why... You want to get Yui's advice, huh? Boy, it's like you can read my mind. I'd met Yui before, and I wanted to ask for her advice. Seeing as I no longer had Saya's phone, I didn't know what time it was in the mortal realm. Last time, Saya chose a moment when no one would be around. After all, if I showed up when the students were in school, that would really mess things up. Is now really the time to fret over that? I mean, it wouldn't be right to drag all my classmates into this. Just then, the guard Saya had mentioned entered the room. Excuse me, I've been instructed to guard you and ensure you stay in your room for the time being. A man peered inside the room. Maybe you could talk to him. Try to win him over to your side. This is a longer bad ending than I expected. I kind of expected to be, but easier said than done, but maybe it's worth a shot. Could you tell me the time? Oh, let's see here. The man then checked his phone. It's around lunchtime. I see. Does that mean it's the same time in the mortal realm, too? His look turned skeptical. I'm just curious, trying to picture what my family might be up to. His gaze turned to one of pity. In the mortal realm, it's late in the evening. It's around 10 p.m. Got it. Thanks for telling me. If you need anything, I'll be right outside the door. Don't hesitate to call me, okay? Just then a pang of guilt struck me. If I snuck out now, we'd get in trouble. I'm so sorry. I murmured silently as she left. Oh, I guess the HO staff was a lady. Okay. It's night, so the school should be empty. Right, let's go. I hurried over to the elevator. I knew how to operate it, touching the crystal on the pedestal. Suddenly I felt a stinging sensation in my hand. Hope this is quick. I don't know. That's what I was thinking about these endings, but they don't seem to be going quick. The elevator door opened to the school, bathed in red as before. I'm just saying, because like the other ending I expected to be a little bit longer, but the bad ending should be like quick. And this one seems to not be quick. I mean, it's only been a few minutes, but rushing toward the nurse's office, I dashed out of the elevator. I'm lonely. There stood a ghost I'd run into the last time I was at the school, the one Minami had chased away. But she seemed different, more menacing than before. Looks like she's turned into a wraith. All the more reason for me to get out of here. As she reached out, I bolted away. Out of breath, I turned around to see the girl was nowhere to be found. Relieved, I turned back and... Suddenly, the girl was right in front of me, instantly closing the gap between us. Come with me. Wait, come with me. Let's stay? Is that what it's saying? What? Her arms pierced right through my stomach. Oh. I crumpled to the floor instantly, though to my surprise there was no blood. However, she was a ghost, and although it appeared like the hidden realm, we were in fact still in the mortal realm. I didn't fully understand. All I could feel was the intense rush as my veins turned to ice, as her consciousness flowed into my mind. It was enough to drive me mad. Hold on, please. Lots of fucked up text. Come here. No, don't go! I crouched down, hugging my body, but the girl wouldn't stop. She just kept hitting and punching me, her icy hands gliding through me. Not how I expected this bad end to go, basically. Because, oh, there's Minami. Because the ending is titled Successful Contract. So I figured we sign a contract with Minami, and okay, here he is, so it makes a little more sense now. Spacey! Minami appeared suddenly, his face filled with concern. He immediately began fighting her as I struggled to stay awake. As my vision started to fade, Minami drove her back and rushed over to my collapsed body. Hey, stay with me. His voice was filled with urgency as he shook me. Minami, his name was all I could muster. You idiot! How many times did I tell you not to leave hell? His face blurred from my sight, but I could feel his grip tightening on my hand. Sorry, I had no choice. My hands were as cold as ice in his. I felt all the warmth leaving me. Minami... Barely able to speak, I gathered my remaining strength to tell him, I'll give you my soul. If I was dying anyway... What are you saying? Take it. My soul. No, don't say that. Don't tempt me, please. Please don't say anything more. I don't want to lose you. I can't... I don't want to lose myself either. Minami's face showed deep conflict. What is he wrestling with? I can't bear this pain anymore. It's too much. If I'm gonna suffer, I'd rather be with him. If pain's inevitable, I want to face it by his side. Ah, now I understand. I love him. Pain and confusion twisted Minami's expression. In his eyes, a flicker of longing surfaced, then retreated. His eyes seemed to rush with desire. Really do I get such a chance? Sorry. You're right. I'm gonna take what I've long wanted. Minami hugged my body tightly. I'll take away your pain. With me, your pain and suffering will end. I'll crush you into nothing. I didn't know what he meant, but I knew I'd be fine if I left it up to him. A wave of relief washed over me, and I closed my eyes, letting go of all fears. I entrusted myself to him entirely. Okay, yep, successful contract. We died, and now we in Minami. Well, we let him inside of us, we got to be inside of him. What? uh, Now this one, yes. Okay, so now this one. No, this one we get a CG, which I feel like we're missing a CG. We had 2 extra ones. Weird. Anyway, point gun. I pointed the gun. Great job. I felt a kind touch on my head and opened my eyes. The hand I thought held a knife was gently patting my head. What? Why? I told you, I'm good with magic. His expression was pain, but Manami forced a smile. Suddenly, his spell lifted, and I clutched my head, feeling like I was losing my mind. My voice broke. Only grunts emerged. Got you. You're such a dummy. Well, despite his pain, Manami smiled weakly, then stumbled forward. I caught him, preventing his fall, and this is where our CG is. No, you're lying! No, no, no! To be killed by the woman I love. To see the woman I love in despair. Look how happy he looks. How comforting. I'm so sorry. What have I done? I'm glad. Now you can go home. Tears began streaming down my face. Words escaped me. He orchestrated his own end. He did it all so I could return home. Yep, there's the train. Such tragedy. Such despair. Hey, it's the end, so can I have it? Oh, now we get a kiss. While she's crying. It's kind of sweet. And depressing. His unique scent tickled my nose. I thought I felt his breath and his tongue, then he forced his lips on top of mine. He bit down hard on my lip, and the taste of iron quickly spread through my mouth. Delicious. I can't believe I can die feeling you entirely. Why is he smiling at a time like this? His body slowly crumpled as if he was sinking into the sand. Oh, please don't! Don't go! I clung to him, trying to keep him here with me, but his presence slowly faded. Then he gave me one last final smile. Spacey, I love you. Those were his final words. I cried and cried, lost in a daze. I eventually stood up. Oh, that's true. No, I was thinking we're missing 2 CG. We're missing one. No, right, because the good ending, we had the duplicate from On the Train, but with his crazy face, and then we got one at the end. I forgot about that one for a second. Anyway. Turning around, the train was there, silently awaiting its sole passenger. No, I'm sorry! A jolt, and I was back to reality. Another dream? Since that day, how many times had I seen it? How many times had the nightmare haunted me? My hand shook each time. I felt the cold steel curvature of the trigger on my finger when I shot him, the jolt of the gun. Hey, remember, I helped you too! Yeah, you're right. We did it together. Because we confronted him, we overcame our fear. Right. Now I've got to focus on my career. I've got to get stronger. I wondered if the god who spirited me away was happy about all this. Imagining Manami's angry reaction brought a smirk to my face. Why are you laughing? Oh, nothing. Here I was, not fleeing from the voice anymore. I'd come to accept it, and we left with the crazy voice in our head. This once overwhelming voice felt almost comforting. Now why don't you go to sleep? He's waiting for you there. Manami visited my dreams every night, stirring my heart. His love, so kind yet so twisted, assured me he'd always be part of me. And so I looked forward to sleep, content. Good night. Good night, Spacey. But like Manami's dead, so we're having dreams of him that aren't real, but then like that's imaginary nightmare. But then you're wondering if it's titled Imaginary Nightmare, Did he fake the I'm good at magic, right? Oh, I died. So then she gets on the train, thinks she killed him, and then he's still visiting you in your dreams. And you think they're just dreams and he's dead, but he's just like that was his way of trying to get you to leave. Like you think he's dead. You think you killed him. So that's enough to bring the train because it's all about your perspective. So that's interesting. Maybe he's not really dead. You know? Okay, so oops. Okay, so this is the one. This is oh. Yeah, like normal, crazy. Normal, crazy. Okay. And then yeah, so these were our new ones. Okay. Well, they don't give you the close up. I mean, you can just zoom in, but there's only one version of it. And then like he looks so adorable despite the fact that like you murdered him. And then the kiss. This like for a bad ending. Oh, does that like a hole in his chest right there? You know what I mean? Like it's not a bad CG. Again, he didn't have bad CGs or anything like that. And like all of his CGs were actually pretty good. You know, like this one's kind of adorable. And like even this one's pretty. You know? But like again, and I think I enjoy it more when Seiya's not around. I can get into it more. You know what I mean? Like all these other endings were so much easier to get behind because Seiya wasn't there. So I think that's part of it. Like, don't dangle my princess in front of me because you're taking away from Minami. And again, he was never going to be my favorite. But overall, at the end of the day, the route, or I'm just like, oh, thank God we're at the end so I don't feel like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, why Minami was like, for me. But, because again, the route itself, good. There's a lot of good things in it. The character is decent. You know what I mean? I can't sit there and be like, oh no, but I love the character if the sprite was different. You know what I mean? If the drawing of him is different than the character itself would be. I don't know because they're so put together that like I can't say that 100%. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the character. We've loved trash before, so like trash that has like a little softer marshmallow inside, you know, it's totally fine. So there's really nothing wrong with the character and the sprite not being my vibe. But I just don't know what it was that just kind of made me like not really want to finish recording it and just be like, about it overall when I know we have moments that were fun. And like right now we got to the end and it was like, okay, no, the endings are good and the bad endings are still good. And like, you know, I'm with it and like you feel bad when she kills. You know what I mean? Like, so I just don't get it. Why throughout the rest of it, I'm like, I don't really want to be here, you know? And the best guess I can make is just, okay, Manami's not my vibe, so, like, I'm not going to have as much fun. Like, woohoo! I'm going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. All right, whatever. It is what it is. But Seiya being my favorite, I think that was a huge part of it. Like, don't dangle Seiya in front of me. Like, but they kind of ingrained them together too tightly. Like, with Kureha, like, we'd pop over and we'd talk to Hibiki a little, like, whatever. Kureha wasn't really in Hibiki's route very much. He'd pop over once in a while, but we spent a lot of time with Hibiki. So there wasn't a lot, you know what I mean? Like, in the very beginning, you kind of have those choices, like, which one are you going to go visit? And that's, you know, but, like, you don't see as much of Kureha and Hibiki's route to tempt you. You don't see as, I mean, Seiya's always there, too, but again, he's very much a secondary, he's more a tertiary character where he's there, and you're like, and then he's gone, and you're like, oh, right, sorry, Kureha. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, so, and even though, like, I loved him before we got to his route, even when he's there in Hibiki's route, it's not like, it's a little distracting. You're like, you're going to need to not be here for a long time because you're going to take me away from Hibiki and I'm trying to enjoy Hibiki's route. And then he goes away. You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of him in Koyo and Seina's routes. And Koyo and Seina even being in each other's routes weren't, I don't think, as heavily in each other's routes as Minami and Seiya were. They're very much tied together. And I can totally understand it. It makes sense. But it does, I think, take away from me being able to enjoy Minami's route for what it was. because to Minami, adore Seiya. So even though I could have enjoyed Minami's route, been like, yeah, he's not my favorite, but like I'm still enjoying the route for what it is. You're always dangling my princess in front of me, so it kind of ruins it a little bit. You know what I mean? And like, I know we've had other instances where like I'm the main character that we're in, not my favorite, and the other characters will pop in and out, but they're not there constantly. I feel like Seiya was almost in Minami's route more than almost as much as Minami was. And he definitely felt like he was in Minami's route more than Minami was in his. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, I could have that impression because Minami was not distracting me from Seiya at all in Seiya's route. Seiya distracting me from Minami, so it might have felt more prevalent. It might have been totally even. You know what I mean? But it just felt like Seiya was in Minami's route way more than the reverse. And almost as much as Minami himself was. And it's like, you can't do that if you want me to enjoy this character. You can't have my favorite in here just as much. It's kind of like he got the Chojiro from Nightshade treatment where you're like, I am in your route, but where are you? Minami was in his route, you know, whereas Chojiro was never in his own route. You're like, he is not in his route. We're spending a majority of the route fawning over the man who's not even here for me to look at. And he was my favorite. Because he was just beautiful. He was my eyeball love. I'm like, this one right here. And you were never in your route, and it was kind of disappointing in that respect. I want to stare at you. Why are you not here? But it's very similar in this respect of Minami was in his route, but Seiya was in it so much more that I forgot Minami was there, and it's like Minami might not well have been there. So you kind of take away from his route when you have the perfect princess floating around. And I feel like that's just a me problem. And it's probably not a problem if Minami's your favorite character or you don't adore Seiya as much as I do. If you're like, no, I liked Seiya's route. Oh my God, I'm here for Minami. Then it probably wasn't. Then it would have been the reverse. You know what I mean? You would have been in Seiya's route being like, I can't enjoy Seiya's route because my favorite Minami's always here. So, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Overall, it wasn't a bad route. There was nothing wrong with it. I could theoretically be like, no, I do if I take a step back and be like, okay, let's just ignore the fact that Babyface, not my favorite. The character and the route and everything was still good. Still gonna be my least favorite just because I'm not interested in the, like, Babyface. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, and I think that that's just a me thing. So, fine. But there's nothing wrong with the route, and I can understand why people love him, because, like, overall the character and the route are good. Just not for me. And Seiya was always there ruining it. Taking away. And I'm still salty that he gets the most amount of CGs and got the sexy time scene. What the fuck? Gonna be salty about that forever. Seriously? You know? It's like when the least favorite character gets the, oh my God, everybody love. No, fuck that guy. Finn from Steam Prison. Fuck that guy. Why? Why are you like the, oh my God, no, he's trash. Fuck that shit. You know? I've also heard, I'm very disappointed in reading, that in the fan disc that I then did pre-order, disappointingly enough, I'm mad about this now, that like, I was waiting for a route for Sasha and we wanted our trash, and he didn't really actually get one. They fucking lied. Or when they kind of posted about it, the translation that was posted for the English-speaking people who don't read Japanese was like kind of misconstrued to like, oh, you can romance Sasha, but you really can't. And I'm like, I'm really fucking mad that I bought the fan disc then. Because what the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll play it eventually, but like, I'm just a little mad that I pre-ordered it. It was on sale, so whatever. But, you know, my favorite trash didn't get a route, but then people are like, blah, blah. No, I don't want to hear about Finn. We need to light him on fire. Fuck that guy. You know? Fuck that guy. You didn't even give us the trash that we wanted. We all want the hot garbage man, and I can't even fuck him? Seriously? The shit is that? You know? So, like, I'm bitter about shit like that. So like, I'm bitter that Minami gets the most amount of CGs. You know? I don't know. We're all going to be bitter about something, okay? You know? And my bitter is that my least favorite character got the most CGs and got the sexy time scene. I'm like, that's just not cool. But it was done well, and the CGs are good, so like, I can be mad about it, or I shouldn't be, but I'm going to be salty about it. That's what it is. I'm not mad about it. I'm salty about it. So, but anyway, that was Minami. We'll start our spirit board one. I don't know which one the spirit realm, is that the one we're going to do next? It's going to be a couple of days or whatever for me because I got to record some of our other game, but we are then going into the spirit world. So Yukimaro will be the one we do next, but we'll be in the common route for the spirit realm. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.